Long gone are the days of waiting to be seen in a doctor's office only to have that awkward conversation with your healthcare provider. Wisp gives you access to sexual and reproductive healthcare from the comfort of your home. Get treatment for BV, yeast infections, UTIs, and much more delivered directly to your home or ready for pickup at your local pharmacy in less than 3 hours. The best part? Wisp is discreet, convenient, and you don't need medical insurance to receive care or prescription medication. Visit us today at hellowisp.com.
I was brought to tears by a spreadsheet yesterday.
I felt that.
I just sat at my desk and just cried for like a good 10 minutes. And it wasn't just the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet was the tipping point of the day.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I'm your host, JoAnn Crone, joined here by the brilliant Brie Tucker.
Why, hello, everybody. How are you? Brilliant. Is that a comment on my sparkling personality?
Always
Brilliant,
brilliant, and your sparkling intelligence.
There's a few people that would disagree with that, mainly my teens. They think that I do not have knowledge to share, but I appreciate it.
They agree with it down deep in the depths of their soul that they cannot reach because they are teenagers. So.
When they become 30, it'll come back out and they'll be like, oh my God, mom wasn't an idiot.
It's bound to happen. It happened to us with our parents too. We have a lot more compassion for them now that we have to actually raise these little beings than we did when we were one of those little beings. Our foresight was not strong for kids about what's coming up in the future.
No, we thought we knew everything just like they do. And it's so funny. Like the other day you were sharing with me, you'd sent me a text about a moment that had been very hard with you and your teen.
Yep.
And later you were like, I just have to remind myself, they don't have a fully formed frontal lobe. They don't have a fully formed frontal lobe.
Exactly. That's actually like a little preview of what you could expect in today's episode, because this is National Stress Awareness Month, April, and we wanted to give you some rescue plan strategies to use when you're about to freaking lose it. Like Brie and I are ready to freaking lose it on a daily basis. So we're going to share some of our stories.
That's a daily struggle for me. As a matter of fact, I'm drinking my coffee with some wishful thinking. I wish
this might be wine. I feel like I got that from you. That was from Charming
You got
Charlie.
that for me.
Yes.
Yes. You got this for me. I remember my first Halloween, I carried it out everywhere. I like drinking this out of this cup and just staring people down.
I'm also drinking out of a cup you got for me. My little coffee cup. So there we go. There we go, guys. You guys could be like, oh, they're so cute. So we're going to give you some of our best stress techniques that we use to calm down. And if you're a mom who feels like you cannot control your emotions in the situation, you just erupt and then you feel sorry about it afterward, this is an episode for you, because we also have a little freebie for you at the end where we're going to give you like this mom stress toolkit full of 10 additional techniques that you could put in your toolbox. So stay tuned for that and let's get on with the show.
You want mom life to be easier. That's our goal too. Our mission is to raise more self-sufficient and independent kids, and we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to help you delegate and step back. Each episode will tackle strategies for positive discipline, making our kids more responsible and making our lives better in the process. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast.
So, Brie, I just got off a coaching call in our balance community. And I love these coaching calls, first of all, because they are filled with our members who just love and support each other like the whole way through. It's none of those like, oh, you should try this. You should try this. It's always like, oh, I'm there too.
Yeah.
This is really, really hard.
Yeah.
But it all goes to kind of illustrate the unique stress load that moms carry, because we not only have stress from our jobs, but we also have this emotional stress in our houses where we're trying to help other people deal with their emotions, as well as dealing with our own emotions, which could be extremely, extremely difficult. I mean, the emotional stress alone like takes me down. What about you?
Oh my God, yes. And you're going to laugh about this. I was brought to tears by a spreadsheet yesterday.
I felt that.
I, I just sat at my desk and just cried for like a good 10 minutes. I was just like, this. And then this happened. And then this happened. It was just like, yeah. And it wasn't just the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet was the tipping point of the day, but it was just, yeah. You never know sometimes what it is that's going to be that tipping point that's going to make you feel like you're going to break.
Yeah.
And in that case, I'd rather be brought to tears than scream. But had I had somebody next to me, I probably would have yelled. So, because that's my initial reaction.
Yeah.
It wasn't what I needed. What I needed was a good cry to let everything else out. But yeah.
Well, a good cry. Glad the spreadsheet could give you a good cry, I guess.
I don't know.
Since I was the one who made you do this spreadsheet.
The spreadsheet not working, though, wasn't your fault.
Yes.
Like, that's the thing that was pissing me off, was just that, like the things that we can't control.
Yeah.
That cause us stress. And I could have screamed and yelled at the computer program that was causing the issue, but it wouldn't have helped.
Yeah. But I mean, it's all like that stress response. Like Mona Delahook talks about the body budget, which I refer to all the time because I think it's such a great metaphor where if you have all of these things happening to you throughout the entire day and you had a day, Brie. Like your tank just becomes full, but not in a good way, more like a garbage can is ready to overflow kind of way.
Yes!
And that last step was just the explosion.
Yes, it literally was. I'm like, normally I go with like the fact that my cup was like empty, but I think at that point, yes, it was just a overflow of crap. Overflow of crappy things that just made it to where my stress level was done. It was done. I had nothing left in me.
It needed the physical release and your body gave it to you in the form of crying. My body usually gives it to me in the form of crying as well. I usually break down. I mean, and it's typically, gosh, the last time I did it, it was over a spreadsheet as well. Like my husband was sitting down with me to do a budget forecast for the company because like I really love his insight. He's definitely very more analytical. He's also removed from the emotion of the business. Like I'm tied up in all the people, so I seek his advice on this stuff.
Yeah.
But he was getting too analytical. Like so much so like he's like, you're going to have to make some hard decisions. I'm like, okay, we've had enough here. We've had enough. And then he kept going
for today.
Yes.
I embrace the we can do hard things, but there is a limit to the daily hard things that can be given.
Yes. And like, I need time to process because I'm going to like break down crying here. So we've had enough. And he's like, okay, but okay.
Okay.
But
on a much lower level, but same thing. Like I have to rely on my husband to help with that stuff. Okay. I'm sorry. This is so minimal, but it just makes me feel like so seen right now with what you just said. Our cupboards in my kitchen, the glass, the drinking glass one is literally like things are pushed in there. And if you open the cabinet, you have to be careful to open it very slowly because otherwise things will fall out on you. There are so many. And I have tried to empty it out and I can't. I'm emotionally attached to everything. Oh, well, that's the cup that Audrey made at Girl Scout camp. And oh, that's the plastic cup we got as a freebie when we went to our first such and such together. Like, I cannot do it. I have to bring him in to help because he's less emotionally attached.
Yeah. The emotional attachment to stuff that is real.
It's real. It happens with plastic cups and with finances.
I don't personally have it, but that's only because my dad had it and I could see the stress that comes with keeping everything as well. And so I always think of that in my mind. I'm like, okay, no, we're throwing this out. It's going right now.
You see, like everybody has that thing that like, you have a story as to why you're stressed, why certain things trigger you.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just, it happens in that
It
way.
happens. Yeah. And there's also like some symptoms that you can really be aware of that you're going to hit your limit. There's the physical symptoms, which is almost easier to pinpoint than the other two symptoms I'm going to talk about. First of all, because like I was also having this discussion with my husband, and especially with guys, because guys aren't taught to identify and name their emotions. Like it's not just something they're raised with. Our society teaches girls how to do that and girls how to like verbally assess things from a very, very young age, but guys do not.
Yep.
And so guys also don't tend to know what they're feeling at times.
Mm-hmm. And it is so frustrating.
It is so frustrating, but they can sometimes notice the physical sensations when it's brought to their attention. And so, if you're like this too, I mean, just see if you have any physical symptoms right now of stress. Like, how's your shoulders? Are they up at your ears? Like, could you release them a little bit and put them down? I mean, I just had to do that right now with myself because my shoulders are up here.
My big one is clinching. And it's the
Oh,
same thing. You're talking about your shoulders, but and clinching can be in any which way, right?
mhm.
For me, the tall tale sign, I'll be like, I'm clenching my jaw, and I will do it all night long while I'm sleeping. I'll do it during the day while I'm stressed out. Like it's a hard thing to try to stop doing when you do it unconsciously.
Yeah.
But
Do you have a mouth guard?
sorta. I
Okay.
sorta have one. I need to get one. I know. They're expensive.
They're attached to,
And I keep
because clenching
telling
your jaw
myself
is
I can
attached to
stop.
migraines.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know. Okay.
I know because I do get really bad headaches that can turn into migraines from having prolonged periods of the clenching. And when I say prolonged periods, I mean we're talking like days upon days of like no relief.
Oh,
So yeah, I get it. Back pain, that's another one,
back
right?
pain. Yeah. And energy crash is actually one too,
Yeah.
which is so interesting because so I'm writing this book right now and I had a meeting with my book coach because we're using selfpublishing.com. And she basically said because it's been a month since I met with her and I only have like 4,000 words written at that time. And she's like, okay, well, now you just got to buckle down and do it, JoAnn. And so last night I went to my daughter who was in her room and I'm like, do you need company during homework or anything? And she looks at me, she's 16, and she's like,
Suspiciously.
no. And then she's like, do you need company? And I'm like, yes, yes, I do. And so I went in her room, I put in my headphones, I got like 1,100 words out last night. But after,
Wow.
yeah, but after that, I crashed. Like all of that stress and stuff and all of that anticipation because writing, like I enjoy it in the moment, but leading
Mhm.
up to it, it stresses me out. Like
Yeah.
all of those feelings of like doubt that you're not good enough, that like all of the things, it just gets to me. So an energy crash is one of those physical symptoms as well.
Yeah.
If you're feeling that. There's also mental symptoms and emotional symptoms. So like mental symptoms like racing thoughts, can't focus. I don't know, Brie, if we have any experience in this one.
No, not at all.
Catastrophizing.
What? What? Being worried about the worst thing possible happening and trying to like hold every single plate up in the air while you're juggling. Like, yeah, and dancing on a rolling ball. Like, that's, yeah, I feel like that a lot. The racing thoughts. Yeah, can't focus for sure.
All
For
of
sure.
them. And then the emotional symptoms, snapping, tearfulness, numbness.
I
Like
feel
I
like we
think we've
spoke
all
about that.
we just spoke about that right now. They're all symptoms that you're about to hit your limit. It's the
What?
warning signs.
What?
Yeah.
Does this happen on a regular basis for Brie? Yes, yes, it does.
Yes,
Yes,
it
it does.
does.
At least
So
I'm able to see it, right? Like that's half the battle. That's why we're here talking about it today.
it's the first step, definitely. And right when we come back, we're going to talk about why the traditional bubble bath just doesn't work on these symptoms. And we're going to give you some rescue techniques that do work on these symptoms. So we'll get to that right after this. So we've talked about all of these symptoms that you might be experiencing when you're about to hit your limit. So now let's talk about what you could actually do about it when you find these symptoms happening. It's interesting because me and my husband, we talk a lot about stress. And he feels very stressed by his job at all times. But I learned that he has things he does before stressful situations, such as one of the companies that he works with frequently at his job they tend to be one of those companies that is a cover your ass company, where he has to structure presentations in a certain way to make sure that they allow, first of all, they can ask questions, but he has to anticipate their questions so that they're on the slide kind of thing. So it looks like it's their idea. It's very complicated, very
Oh my
stressful
God.
situation. Yes, very
Yes. Just hearing that is stressing me
genius.
out.
He's a genius when it comes to that. He's a
Wow.
genius. So he says that right before stressful meetings, he actually does breathing and meditating so that he doesn't get too amped up and he can really stay in the moment and not get scared by their questions. And I was like, oh, this is so interesting.
Yes.
So, one of our first techniques is the 478 breathing technique. And it's actually a technique that my son heard about too, outside of me. One of those instances, Brie, where I tell him all the time about the benefits of breathing. He's like, no, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And then he wakes up one morning. He's like, you know what really helped me last night, Mom? I did this 478 thing and I fell right asleep. I'm like, really?
Uh-huh. And where'd you find that? Was it on TikTok or Instagram? Wow, it's so intelligent. I wish I knew that shit.
all the time. So if you're listening to our podcast and if you're a frequent listener, you already know this.
Yeah.
Even though we have the knowledge, it does not mean our kids listen to us. Like it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah.
So I want everyone to take a little comfort in that fact that if your kids don't listen to you, you're right where you need to be.
Yeah.
Right where you need to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this 478 breathing technique. What it does is, first of all, for me, it starts me breathing again because I'm a breath holder when I get stressed. My head I feel lightheaded. My throat gets tight because I hold my breath.
Mm-hmm.
And so this interrupts that stress response in my nervous system. And it's breathing in for 4 through your nose,
Mm-hmm.
holding it for 7, and then breathing out for 8. And I find that this calms me down in a way that is so helpful. Like I want to do it right now, Brie, because like you can hear like my voice right now. My voice is a little tight. It's a little tight. So we're going to breathe in for 4. You ready? Here we go.
Oh, goodness.
Hold for 7. And then release out of your mouth for 8. See, it's at that release part that really like helps me relax. And I feel like my voice is a little lower tone. I would probably do that for a few more times to get it down even more. But I feel so much more relaxed, so much more in control and being able to process my thoughts. And it's not that I even realized I was anxious or amped up before,
Mm-hmm.
but comparing the two, I'm like, there's a difference.
Okay, it's funny you brought that up. So, first of all, my whole family, like myself and my kids, we've all been through therapy. And again, you guys, if you listen to this podcast, you know we highly encourage therapy. I think it's great. I think it's
Yes.
better than a day at the spa, if you ask me, but that's okay. And all of them has given all 3 of us breathing exercises. And it's funny because you hear it and you know it, and it comes to you in different spots in your life as well. For instance, we recently had a podcast sponsor, Lumen, which is a device and an app that helps you with like measuring your metabolics, where you're at. I was really excited to try it for like help me out with my menopause stuff. The whole reason I'm bringing this up, it's not an ad for Lumen necessarily, but hey, there is a link in our like, go to our sponsors. But I have found that little device, because we have to do the same thing with that device when it's measuring our breath. We have to breathe in.
Mm-hmm.
It's slightly different. I think it's like we breathe in for 4, we hold
like
for
6
10.
or 4. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we breathe out for 6. And it's funny because you're so focused on the breathing part because they give you this little ball that you have to follow on the app to make sure you're breathing the right way. And it makes me do it because even when I'm trying to do the breathing by myself, my ADHD is like, what's that sound there? Did I just see something move to the left of my eye? Where's the dog? All those things are going through my head while I'm trying to breathe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so like, those little visual ticks and using my lumen has helped me with my breathing.
Yeah.
Gonna tell you.
Breathing like is so beneficial. It helps. So that's the first technique we have for you, the 478
Okay.
breathing reset. The second
Ooh.
technique is the name 5 things, which Brie, I first learned from you.
Yes, I love this one. So this was one that we got from my son's therapist, Nate. And if I could remember Nate's last name, I would tell you, but I can't. Anyway, it's a grounding exercise. And honestly, every single member of my family who has been through therapy for panic attacks, this is what they have you do. So for the grounding technique, you're going to start with you're going to try to take your 5 senses and you're going to try to focus on them. So the first one that I always would focus on is, what do I feel? I like putting my feet on the ground, pushing myself into the seat that I'm at, standing up against a wall, whatever it is, so that I can feel. So I'm feeling the solid, whatever. I don't know. I'm losing my train of thought on this now. And then visually, what do I see? I focus on one thing. You focus on one thing and you're looking at that one thing, and that's your vision, right? Listen for a sound. If there are a million sounds going on, try to focus in on one. And if it's a pretty quiet situation, just trying to listen for, what do you hear that's going on around you? For your taste, if you can take a cool drink of water, that is awesome. I can tell you, because I've done this in a million different scenarios. Cold water works best for me because I can feel it in my mouth and I can feel it going down my throat, which just kind of helps me tune into that some more. If you don't have any water, it's going to sound a little weird-ish, but you just salivate and swallow your spit. There you go.
Yeah.
So you've got your touch, your vision, your sound, your taste. I'm missing my 5th one. What's my 5th one?
Smell?
Smell. There we go. Thank you. You smell, take in what is around you and what you can smell. And then just being aware. And when we did it, the therapist would have us go through it a couple of times. So if after doing all 5, you're still not feeling calm, start again and maybe slightly move your position.
Yeah.
So that, again, you're bringing yourself back to checking through all 5 of your senses. And hopefully you won't forget them like Brie just did.
But even the process of trying to remember all your senses, it takes you out of that future forward thinking and anxiety loop. It brings you back into the present. So
it does.
It works that way as well. So we've just given you 2, the 478 breathing reset and the name 5 things grounding exercise. Right after this break, we're going to give you 3 additional more stress techniques you can use when you're ready to blow right after this. So Brie, this stress technique I use all the time. And we mentioned it as a little Easter egg at the beginning of this episode because it is the emergency phrase technique. And it's creating a personalized reset phrase to help you. Now, these have been also called mantras, and I didn't really go for that. In fact, I didn't see the benefits of this phrase until I saw my friend Chelsea use it when we were teaching 10 years ago. And what she did is when we were in a classroom surrounded by a ton of yelling 5th graders, and Chelsea, God help her, she's a kindergarten teacher now. She's really experiencing it.
I love kindergartners.
Yeah, kindergarten. They're so different. The 5th
They
graders,
are
different.
different.
And she was surrounded by 5th graders, and she would stand there and be like, I'm on a beach. I'm on a beach. I'm on a beach. And she would picture herself on a beach to calm herself down. Now, that kind of visualization, it doesn't usually work for me. But what does work for me is just to remind myself of facts. And the fact that I remind myself all the time when I'm dealing with my kids is they don't have a fully developed frontal lobe. They don't have a fully developed frontal lobe. They don't have a fully developed frontal lobe. So it's I don't need to stand here and argue with somebody who doesn't have a fully developed frontal lobe. I can walk away, we can let the emotions cool down, and I can come back later.
And I can also know that they don't know what I know. That's
Yes.
another thing sometimes. It's I just have, so not quite the same, but very similar. I remind myself of a time where I think I was especially bratty to my parents. When I was 16, 17, I had a outgoing, we'll call her outgoing, spirited sister before me. So she had a lot of conflicts with my parents. And to a young kid, it seemed like she got away with a lot of stuff. So I tried it when I was 16, 17. Did not work out so well for me. I do like remember back to those times when my kids are giving me a lot of pushback, a lot of stress. And I'll just be like, you know what? I was this way too.
Yeah,
I
that's
I,
a good
I was
one.
this way too. And that helps for me
Mhm.
when it's my kids. When it's I can't say the same for like my ex-husband or other things that piss me off. But for my kids, I can be like, yeah, this too shall pass. This
Yeah.
too shall pass.
I was going to mention the emergency phrase for mine. I can't use it on adults because they have no excuse. They have a fully developed frontal lobe right over there.
I know, right?
They can't
I
do
have to
it.
work on that one a little differently there. I actually, with that one, I just complain, I yell, and then I move on.
My adult thing is I was like, either the ones I use is I'm like, okay, they're feeling their emotions. This is going to pass. That one helps a lot. And then another one that works, like with somebody in my family that we always argue with and we never see eye to eye with, it's just like they're not self-aware. They haven't put in this time to be self-aware. They don't know. They just don't know. And that
Yeah.
gives me a little bit of compassion for them versus like
Yeah.
they're trying to do something intentionally to be malicious.
Exactly. I think that's the thing, is kind of like reminding yourself of their motivation.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, what's the next one here?
The next one is a physical reset method. And this is using any kind of physical change of body or movement to really reset yourself. So, like, for instance, you've probably heard about the rubber band on the wrist kind of thing where you could just snap yourself immediately out of the moment. That doesn't help me. That just pisses me off because I'm like, damn, that hurts. Like, what? I'm still mad. I'm still mad.
Now I'm more mad at myself for it.
No, I'm more mad. Why did I have to get in the state that I had to snap myself with a rubber band? Why? but,
Oh my God.
but what does work for me is tapping. When I'm really, really anxious, I found that like I was just, if I'm in the car and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so anxious right now, I go to my heart, I put my hand on my heart and I just start tapping right here.
Okay.
And that repetitive movement really helps me just calm myself down and like take myself out of my worries and my body. So that helps a lot for me. Does there any that help for you?
Yes, actually. So, in terms of a quick physical reset, I have two things that I do a lot, and I'm basing them right now off of my everyday life. So, most of my stress would happen in my house because that's where I live and have my family and where I work as well. So, I have two things I do. Number one, we're in that point right now where it's actually pleasant to be outside in the desert.
Mhm.
So if I can go outside in the sunshine and just sit out there and like let the sun hit my face, and I just kind of like the ground. I actually no, it's not kind of like the ground. I do like half of the grounding. I do like half of my senses. I listen to the sounds. I feel the sun on my face. That helps. My other one is an audio one. This is my go-to reset song. Okay, got to see if it's gonna let us play it on the mic. Ready?
Okay.
All right.
On the rain.
I
Milli
cannot,
Vanilli.
I cannot sit still. So like people are watching this on YouTube. I'm dancing, baby. Whatever you do, don't put that blame on you. Blame it on the rain. I mean, honestly, if you are pissed off and in a bad mood, you cannot be in a bad mood listening to Blame It on the Rain. You just can't.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
like,
unless you're Milli Vanilli who like lost your Grammys. But other than that,
yeah, unless you didn't really sing Blame It on the Rain and you, and you lip sync the entire song.
I'm not kidding. That is my reset song. That is what I do when I am like super stressed out. Because even no matter how pissed off I am, I'll still like at least bop the shoulders. Blame it on the rain.
That's like
It's the
me
rain
and
that's
Pitbull.
pissing me off. Yeah, it's the rain.
That's what I like for Pitbull. Any Pitbull song, I like.
Right?
I like go like this. Like they play Pitbull and Pilates, and like we're doing a hard thing, and I'm like here going do 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 international do do do.
I was gonna say, which one's your favorite one? Pitbull has
right
quite
now,
a few shake your booties. Yeah.
Right now, it's the most recent one he did with Bon Jovi. It's My Life. Yeah, he did yeah, it's real good. I love it.
You'll have to play that one for me. I haven't heard that one.
It's a really, really good one. I could actually. Okay, here it is. Wait.
Oh, yeah. I can hear the fist pump. What's
And then he goes into his pitbullness. See, you could be like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Now or never. Pitbull or Bon Jovi.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. You know you're Gen X when you're like,
You're like, yeah, I got fist bump. Fist bump. Yes, definitely. So that's a physical reset. And as you can tell, Brie and I use music a lot for
We
some
do.
physical resets. So bring it in there, dance it out.
Yeah.
Dance it out. And then our last one is the 2-minute future self visualization. Now, this is something I use when I have a lot on my plate. I get so overwhelmed and I don't want to do any of it. I don't
Okay.
want to do any of it. And I actually use a phrase to help visualize my first future self. It's, I'm doing something for future Joe. What could I do for future Joe that would make her life easier? And I did this just this morning with my laundry because we're packing to go on a trip, me and my son. And I'm like, okay, future Joe really needs clean laundry and she won't be stressed out and she won't have this feeling in the pit of her stomach. She'll actually be calm when this laundry's done. Okay, going to go put the laundry in the wash machine right now. Got it.
I love that. I love loving our future selves. I will work on that one more. I think that would help because I like to do, and you've heard us talk about on the podcast, but it's a joke between JoAnn and me and actually all of my close loved ones. I say that I'm on step 20. And yeah, step 20, 2-minute future self, she's long gone in the past at step 20. So if I could bring it back to 2 minutes from now, what would future Brie want? Yeah, I think that would help a lot. I love that. I'm so glad we're doing this episode because this is a new one for me. This is a new one for me. I'm going to definitely try this. It does
works.
help with an immediate shift, I would
It
think.
does. It helps with
Yeah.
that immediate perspective shift because you're not so much in the moment of, oh my gosh, I have so much to do, but you're like, oh, this will
Uh-huh.
make my life easier in the future.
Right?
It's like
decision.
future thinking
Paral-
for good.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah. I have that thing. Oh, what is it called? Where like I paralyze.
Yes.
I like freeze like a deer in headlights when I have too many things going on. And I'm just like, I can't do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Damn menopause, you're making it worse than it normally is. So,
Ugh.
yeah.
So those are the 5 techniques we have for you today. It is the 4-7-8 breathing reset, the name 5 things, the emergency phrase, the physical reset, and the 2-minute future self. Now, what we want you to do is to pick one of these and go try it. Like, just try it out and notice how you feel before and notice how you feel after. Let us know too. And if you want some more ideas on things to try, gosh, we have it for you. We have 10 more of these. And all you need to do is go over to Instagram, go to No Guilt Mom, and DM me the word stress kit. All one word, stress kit. And the little bot will start going and it's going to get you that list of emergency stress relievers that you could put in your toolkit as well.
And if you find that music helps you, I would love to know what your soundtrack is because while I am very happy with Blame It on the Rain, I'm sure I'm going to get sick of it one day. Like, the kid that eats peanut butter and jelly for every day for lunch for 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably get sick of it. So I'm going to need more suggestions on stuff. And I would love to hear what works.
And I also have to add that like these stress tools that you're getting from us, they're actually part of our balance program. And in that balance lesson, the anxiety management toolkit, I teach you how to analyze like your anxiety situations, like the past 3 situations that have caused you a lot of stress. And we look to see what your triggers are so that you could start using these stress techniques as early as you notice them. Because I have to tell you, the earlier you notice it in your stress cycle, the more effective they are.
Yep. And if you need like a physical reminder of that, Brie, who suffers from panic attacks, the more I keep going in the cycle, the harder it is to dig yourself out. So if you can figure it out right before, like if you could, like you said, see your triggers before they happen, it's much easier to get that shift than when you're 10 feet down the hole. So,
yes. So until next time, remember, the best mom's a happy mom. Take care of you. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks for stopping by.
If you'd like to support the show further, you can share episodes with your loved ones, leave a positive review, or follow us on social media at No Guilt Mom. You can also show your love by visiting our amazing podcast sponsors. We have a link in the show notes.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.